So by now we are familiar with what is a T-junction, what are the characteristics and the S-matrix of a E-plane T and the characteristics and the S-matrix of a H-plane T. So now we are going to combine our understandings of our E-plane T and H-plane T and understand about another T-junction, that is a magic T. It can also be called as a hybrid T-junction or a 3dB coupler. It is a combination of our E-plane T and H-plane T. So how it is constructed is explained here. It is formed by attaching two simple waveguides, one parallel and the other series, to a rectangular waveguide which already has two ports. That is, we know these two ports, port 1 and port 2, lying in the same plane are collinear arms, and to this main waveguide we are going to attach two simple waveguides, that is our E arm and our H arm. So which will be series and which will be parallel, we already know. This H arm, which is also called as the additive port, is a parallel port, and the E arm, it is also called as a difference arm since it is going to give the difference of the signals. So this E arm or the difference port is a series port and this H arm is a parallel port. And we are combining here the characteristics of both the E-plane T and H-plane T. It is also called as a hybrid T-junction, and it is called as a magic T because one port is going to give what? The addition, and the other port is going to give the difference. So it is a magic, it is called as a magic T, a hybrid T, or since power is getting equally splitted when you feed it to the E arm and H arm, it is also called as a 3dB coupler. So this is how a magic T is going to look like. You can see it in the microwave lab. So it is a combination of the H-plane T and a E-plane T. So totally there are 4 number of ports in a magic T. Now here we will see some characteristics of magic T before going to its S matrix. So if we are going to feed two waves, we are having here 4 ports. So we are going to feed here two input waves, say of equal magnitude and same phase, if they are fed into the collinear arms of port 1 and port 2. The output will be 0 at port 3 and additive at port 4. That is, we know port 4 here in which we have taken is our H arm. So H arm, since being an additive arm, the input will be added at port 4. But if we are feeding a two wave of equal magnitude and same phase at the collinear arms, the E arm, the port 3 output will be 0 since it will cancel. It is a difference arm. Again, if we are feeding the input into port 4, that is our H arm, it will be equally divided in the collinear arms of port 1 and port 2, but it will not appear at port 3. Okay. Similarly, if you apply the input at port 3, that is the E arm, it will produce what we have studied, a output of equal magnitude and opposite phase, that is 180-degree phase difference at port 1 and port 2. That at the collinear arms we will get the output which is equal in magnitude but opposite in phase, but it will not appear at the H arm. Okay, so output at the port 4 is 0. So what do you understand? If you are feeding an input at the E port, it will not appear at the H port, and the reverse, vice versa also. So the elements in the S matrix S43 and S34 will always be equal to 0. That is what is written here. So these are the three characteristics. Another characteristic is that in the magic T, if you are feeding an input at one of the collinear arms, it will not appear at the other collinear arm, because between the port 1 and port 2, two another waveguides are attached. That is, we are having a E arm and another one H arm. Both are having different properties. One is causing a phase delay and other one is causing a phase advance. Okay, that is H arm is causing a phase advance. So because of this, if we apply input at one collinear arm, it cannot cause output at the other collinear arm, since we are having a E arm and H arm in between these two collinear arms. So S12 and S21, okay, they will always be equal to 0. So we can actually modify the S matrix of a magic T. Since it's a 4-port junction, all the 4 ports can be matched and the diagonal elements can be 0. And from the other properties, that is S12 and S21 will always be equal to 0, and also S34 and S43 will always be equal to 0. We can modify the S matrix of magic T as such. So these elements in the S matrix for a magic T will be 0 because of the characteristics. Now we are going to derive about the S matrix of magic T. Okay, so in magic T we are having 4 ports and all the 4 ports can be perfectly matched. We have seen that in the equivalent circuit of T junction property, the 3 ports cannot be completely matched. But since we are having a 4 port, it can be perfectly matched. So in case of magic T, we can consider the diagonal elements to be 0 and port 1 and 2 and then port 3 and 4 are isolated from each other. This we have already explained in the previous slide. If you are applying a port 1, it is not going to appear at port 2 and vice versa. And also port 3 and port 4 also are isolated from each other. So S12 is equal to S21 is equal to S34 is equal to S43 is equal to 0. So incorporating this, we can modify the S matrix of the magic T as here. Okay, so we have got some elements of the magic T to be 0 in the S matrix. Now easy way by which we can find out the S matrix for a magic T is, first of all we have to see the property of a E-plane T and H-plane T, incorporate it in our S matrix and then go for the unitary property of the S matrix. Okay, so when we are considering our third port, that is our E port, it will be electrically anti-symmetrical with respect to our port 1 and 2. That is, if you apply a input at our E port, it will be appearing of equal magnitude but opposite phase at port 1 and 2, which we have already seen. So if you are considering say S23, it will be what? Minus of S13. Okay, so by the symmetry property we can also write it as S32 is equal to minus of S31. Then port 4 is electrically symmetrical with respect to port 1 and 2, that is our H port. So we can write it how S24 will be the same as that of S14 and is equal to S41 is equal to S42. So here we have considered the property of the E-plane T, H-plane T and the symmetric property of the S matrix. So incorporating all this, we can again modify the S matrix as such. So it becomes easy for us in order to solve the elemental values of S matrix. Why? Because now we have got only two unknowns, that is S13 and S14. So now we will find out by means of the property of the S matrix, we can further solve the values of S13 and S14. So now when we apply the unitary property, S into S star is equal to I and solving it. So when we are taking here say R3 and C3. So R3 and C3 we get the value of S13. So we will substitute it into the S matrix of our magic T. So now we have only got one unknown, that is S14. So further, by taking the property, unitary property of S matrix, we also get the value of S14. So now the unknown of S13 and S14 is known, and substituting it back to the S matrix of magic T, finally we get the S matrix of magic T as such. Okay. So by using the property of the magic T, that is combining the property of E-plane and H-plane T, and by knowing the property of the S matrix, we have finally derived the S matrix for a magic T. Now the magic T can be used for several types of applications like impedance measurement, mixing, duplexing, etc. Here we will show an example in which how a magic T can be coupled the transmitters to antenna. That is, one transmitter we can connect at port 3 and another transmitter 2 we can connect it our port 4. So we know that one is our E-plane arm and other one is our H-plane arm. So what happens is that if we have a particular application in which it requires a twice more input power to our antenna than the other transmitter can deliver. That is, one transmitter is delivering a power and another transmitter has to deliver twice a power. So in such application we can employ a magic T. So the two transmitters here are connected here to the port 3 and port 4 respectively. So what happens is that transmitter, once it is connected to port 3, it is transmitting. So how it will be the output? It will cause a wave to emanate from port 1 and port 2, and they will be equal in magnitude, but what happened? They will be opposite in phase. Okay, so similarly if you are connecting a transmitter to at port 4, so how will be the waves emanating? It will be equal in magnitude as well as equal in phase. So what happens at port 1? Those which are opposite in phase, they will cancel each other, but at port 2, the two in phase waves, they will add. So we will get double output power from port 2 when you are comparing from that of port 1. Okay, so we have coupled to our magic T two transmitters, and at one port we are getting a lesser power and at the another port we are getting a twice power. So in such type of application we can employ a magic T. So this is the explanation from the previous figure. So this example is taken from Liao textbook. Okay. So in this we have to understand one thing. These two transmitters, they are actually identical. Okay. They are two identical radar transmitters in the equipment stock. So the transmitters, they are not differing from each other. They are the same transmitters. But at the end, since we are using a magic T, we are going to get one port more power. Okay, so that is why we are incorporating a magic T. That is, a particular application require twice more input power to an antenna than either transmitter can deliver. So actually we are having identical transmitter, but at the end we are getting more input power from one port than the other port. So in such a condition you can employ a magic T. It can be used to couple the two transmitter to the antenna in such a way that the transmitters are not loading each other. So how we are not making sure that the transmitters are not loading each other? Keep one transmitter at the E port and keep another transmitter at the H port. So because of the property of the E plane T and the H plane T, the magic T behaves in such a way that at one port we get the waves cancelling each other, and the another port the waves will add each other. So double output power at say port 2 when compared to the port 1. So from the example which is given, we understand that magic T can be used in such a type of application. There are also many other applications of magic T like impedance measurement, duplexing, mixing, etc. Now another application is magic T can be used as a mixer. Okay, here the magic T is used as a mixer since we are having 4 port. Okay, so in one port we are having, say port 1 we are having the mixer, and another port in the collinear arm we are having the mixer and a matched load. Okay, so matched load means that we have got no reflections on that port, and to the E arm port we connect the antenna, and to the H arm port we connect the local oscillator. So we all know what is the function of a local oscillator and a mixer. So this intermediate frequency will be produced by the output from the mixer. It can be the difference of these two incoming frequencies. So half of the local oscillator power and half of the received power from the antenna goes into the mixer, where they will be mixed to generate the IF frequency. Okay, so magic T can be used in mixer circuits. Now we will see how magic T function as a duplexer. We all know what is a duplexer. It is a circuit which will work both as a transmitter and receiver by using a single antenna for both the transmission as well as the reception. So we will be using a single antenna, but we will be able to do both the transmission and reception. So by employing a magic T, what we do is that on the collinear arms, port 1 and 2, we place the transmitter and receiver, and here on the E arm port we are connecting the antenna, and on the H arm port we are placing a matched load to avoid reflection. So what happens? So during the transmission from the transmitter, we know half of the power will go to the antenna, from where it will be radiated to the space, and half of the power from the transmitter is going to the matched load. which absorbs it. There will be no reflections from the matched load side. Okay, so the power will be here isolated to the receiver. No power reaches the receiver during the transmission since these two ports are isolated. Okay, and imagine during the time of reception what will happen. During the reception, half of the power from the antenna, it is going again back to the receiver. Okay, so it is not going back to the transmitter since both of them are isolated. So by using a single antenna, both the transmission and the reception is made possible with the help of a magic Tee. So that is why it is called as a magic Tee, can be called as a duplexer circuit. Now we will see another application of magic Tee, that is a measurement of impedance. Microwave impedance can also be measured by techniques of slotted line, reflectometer, etc. Now you will see how magic Tee helps in measurement of impedance. Here magic Tee is used in the form of a bridge. As you can see, this is a bridge arrangement where a null detector is connected to the E-arm port and a microwave source is connected here to the H-arm port. And we are connecting a standard impedance and unknown impedance in the two collinear arms of port 1 and port 2. So port 2 is the unknown impedance which we have to measure. Okay, so this impedance measurement is done by balancing the bridge. Suppose the signal from the microwave source is coming, it is getting equally splitted into both of these collinear arms, that is the port 1 and port 2. Since it is getting equally divided, it is represented as 1 by root 2 of A3 at both the arms 1 and 2. So again, these are not matched impedances at the port 1 and port 2. Obviously, there will be reflection. So rho 1 and rho 2 are the reflection coefficients respectively from port 1 and port 2. So now the signals which are coming to the null detector, they can be represented from the port 1 by root 2 A3 into rho 1, which is a reflection coefficient from port 1, and from port 2 1 by root 2 A3 into rho 2 reaches the null detector. Okay, so this is a bridge form of arrangement, and this is how signals are getting splitted here because of the property of the magic Tee. So the resultant wave which is reaching at the null detector, that is the port 4, can be calculated as follows. So from the port 1 we have got a reflection coefficient of rho 1, and from port 2 we have got a reflection coefficient of rho 2, and A3 is coming from the microwave source. Equally we are getting it in port 1 and port 2. So again these two signals will be equally dividing and reaching at the null port, whose value can be calculated as follows. Now for perfect balancing of the bridge, we have to equate this particular equation to 0. So finally, what will we get a conclusion? The reflection coefficient from the two ports rho 1 and rho 2 will be equal. Okay, if rho 1 and rho 2 will be equal, Z1 will be equal to Z2 because of the relation between rho and Z. Okay, so this is the relationship between the rho and Z. Here, rho 1 is a reflection coefficient from port 1, Z1 is the impedance of port 1, and ZZ is the unknown impedance. Okay, so by using this relations of rho 1 and rho 2 and equating rho 1 is equal to rho 2, we get Z1 is equal to Z2. Okay, so we can find out the unknown impedance by adjusting the standard variable impedance till the bridge is balanced and both the impedance become equal. Okay, so this is a technique by which impedance can be measured by using a magic Tee. So we have seen in this section about the concept of magic Tee, its construction and its characteristics, how it is combining the property of both the E-plane Tee and H-plane Tee, and we have seen the derivation of S matrix, and we have also discussed several applications of magic Tee.